Hello everyone and welcome to the STA116 presentation. We are from Group 7. I am your host and the editor of the video. My name is Herbert James. You can call me James. And these are my team. Side, the brains behind the calculation, and Nik Syarul, who will be explaining about the graph. So today we will be explaining about an investigation of delays at the roadwork, where the time span by a sample of 120 commuters awaiting to pass through the roadwork was recorded to the nearest minute. The result is shown in the table below. Right, so these are the data that we have. We have the time in minutes and we have the number of the commuters. So first question is to find the mean and standard deviation of the data. So what should we find first? To be exact, we should search for the cumulative of fx and the n, which is the number of commuter, and we know that n is 120 because from the table here you can see the number of commuters. N is basically the cumulative of the number of commuters. So now we head to another table. So here we have the time in minutes and number of commuters as we saw in the previous table. But we have another three new sections, which is the x, which represents the midpoint, the fx, and the fx square. So these are the data that we have to calculate both the mean and standard deviation. So the cumulative of fx, so basically just add up all the fx that has been discovered, as you can see from the table. To find fx, we need 2 times the number of commuters and the midpoint, so that's how you get the fx. Now to find the mean, we will use the formula mean is equivalent to the cumulative of fx divided by n. So we know that n is 120 and cumulative for fx is 1401. So when divided, it became 11.675. So that's the mean. Now to find the standard variation, which is represented as an s. So what to find? We should find the cumulative for fx square. In the table, we need to find the variance first, the s square, and then we get to standard deviation. Same procedure, cumulative of fx square, just add up all the fx squares that were listed in the table. So to find fx square, the midpoint x times by fx. To find the variance s square, we will use the formula the sum of fx square minus the sum of fx in bracket with the power of 2, which is divided by n, and the whole equation will be divided by n minus 1. So we know that the cumulative of fx square is 17,937, which will be minus by 1,401 square, which is divided by 120, and the whole thing later on will be divided by 120 minus 1. The variance that we see from this equation is 13.28. And next, to find standard deviation s, you square root it. So s, which is the square root of 13.28, you get 3.64. Now for question 2, estimate the mode graphically. I will now pass the podium to Mr. Nik Syarul to explain on the graph.
Thank you, Mr. James. Let's take a look at the histogram that illustrates the information from previous table. As you can see, the y-axis in the frequency and the x-axis is the class boundary. The height of each bar will corresponding to the frequency. So, how to find the mode based on the histogram? It's quite simple. We just need to identify the highest bar that correspond to the highest frequency. Then, Make a cross from one edge of the top of the highest bar to the edge of the bar beside the highest bar. The reading of the intersection point on the x-axis will provide the mode. The mode is estimated to be about 12.7.
Thank you for watching the video. I hope this presentation enlightens you on how to calculate the mean, standard deviation, and how to show the mode graphically. So, take care and goodbye.